No, we're going to go to Nigel. Excellent. Nigel Freitas, our tech reporter on some various tech developments. Nigel, big one being this morning, Ziggy Switkowski could be back in the game, heading up the NBN. What do you know about his story today? But also, talk to us about his legacy and how people would feel about hearing Ziggy Switkowski's name brought up in the space again.
Yeah, good morning to you, Brooke. Well, Ziggy Switkowski, as we know, has quite a respected legacy as the ex-head of Telstra. And we know that Mike Quigley, the current NBN CEO, did retire or announce his retirement in July and say that, of course, he was going to step down but stay on until his replacement was found. Now, the coalition, as we know, Brooke, have been very bullish about the NBN and what they're intending to do to that project. Malcolm Turnbull, the Shadow Communications Minister, really quite vocal about what he calls the lack of experience, the lack of quality on the NBN board. We know he wants to get rid of a lot of people currently running NBN code. Now, Ziggy's name did come up and has been in the mix for quite some time, but there are reports this morning that Malcolm Turnbull has tapped him on the shoulder and said, I want you to come on board and help take this project in the right direction. Two big things on his agenda if he does accept. The first is renegotiating this deal with Telstra. Now, that took a long time the first time it happened. Ziggy will have to renegotiate that deal with Telstra. David Thodey yesterday coming out already and saying he's not going to accept less than the money he's already received, and he wants those negotiations to happen quite quickly. But Ziggy, of course, in a great position to do that, given his Telstra experience. The second thing we'll have to do, of course, is change the nature of the project from fibre to the premise to fibre to the premise to fibre to the node, which is the coalition model. So two very big changes for Ziggy Switkowski if he does take the role. Malcolm Turnbull, though, coming out today, not confirming it, Brooke. He said it's a decision for Shadow Cabinet, for the Cabinet, once they do announce that. And if he is promoted to Communications Minister from Shadow Communications Minister, it is a decision he's likely to make. So wait and see on that one. But I think people will be broadly supportive of that move, given how respected Mr. Switkowski is and given his experience running Telstra beforehand.
Nigel, another interesting story that's popped up today in the tech space is the ACCC joining what is actually a global effort to raise awareness of so-called freemium apps. Now, these are apps, they claim to be free, but actually once you're using them and playing the games, then you actually get charged. The problem is a lot of kids are using them.
Absolutely, and this is really a publicity stunt more than anything else from the ACCC, Brooke, but it is a problem. Parents, of course, download an app from the App Store. They think it's free. They give it to their kids to play with, and what happens then is that while they're playing that game, that app then encourages them to purchase something. It might be extra colours for their character. It might be food or something else within the game itself. These kids don't realise they're playing with real money. It's not pretend money, it's real money. And many parents have then found they get a bill from Apple or from Google, could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, because their kids have kept spending in these apps. So the ACCC joining a global initiative with 50 other consumer protection agencies around the world. And what they say they're going to do is go through these apps and highlight the ones that they think aren't providing enough warning to consumers. But Brooke, there are 900,000 apps on Apple's App Store and 1 million in Google's Play Store. So a lot of work there if they're serious about that effort, but really about raising awareness. There have been calls for government regulation in this area, but at the moment it's a case of buyer beware or parents beware, especially when you're handing that iPad or iPhone to your kids.
Nigel Freitas, great to get the update. I had no idea there were things called freemium apps, so there you go. It's not just kids that don't know. Thank you very much, Nigel Freitas. Buyer or user beware on that one. Do stick with us here on Sky News Business. We've got lunch money coming up next.